The hair stood up on the back of my neck. I went to the governor's office right away and met with his staff for 4 or 5 hours at least, trying to get a better idea of how many people were still in the water.
A sudden bridge collapse, vehicles falling into the river below, an emergency response in dangerous conditions. The description echoes the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse, but the video you're watching is from back in 2007, the Minnesota Interstate 35 bridge collapse. Though they were nearly 2 decades apart, 11 News investigates learned that there are striking similarities between the Minnesota bridge and the Key Bridge tragedies.
As well as several shared lessons as the Baltimore area tries to rebuild. Investigative reporter Tali Taylor joins us live now. And Tali, these two bridges are also being linked together in terms of funding.
Yeah, after an initial response to the Key Bridge collapse that was marked by federal, state, and local cooperation, the efforts to secure funding for a new bridge in Congress are stuck in quicksand. The bridge rebuild in Minnesota was 100% federally funded, while Maryland residents could be on the hook to get the Key Bridge rebuilt.
It was a terrifying day in Minnesota. And when you see, a major piece of infrastructure like that fall and people in the water and a school bus that was within feet of going in the water, it gets your attention.
During rush hour on August 1st, 2007, a nearly 500-foot section of the westbound Interstate 35 bridge collapsed, sending more than 100 vehicles into the Mississippi River below. Steve Murphy was a Minnesota state senator at the time, and 2 weeks after the tragedy, he would be named one of the chairs of the committee investigating what happened.
All of a sudden, you see a little jiggling in the camera, and then it's gone. And it's just, it was traumatic.
As with the Key Bridge response, water rescue units played a vital role, helping to rescue more than 140 people with injuries.
But you knew that there were people down there that they weren't going to get, and that's hard to take, still hard to take.
In the end, 13 people died that day. As with the Key Bridge, local, state, and federal agencies collaborated in Minnesota, helping those impacted and the community where it happened. But where the stories of I-35 West in Minnesota and the Key Bridge diverge is in the nation's capital. In 2007, Congress provided nearly all of the $300 million needed to rebuild the bridge with bipartisan support 3 days after the tragedy. Murphy says having that funding up front made all the difference.
The collapse happens on August 1st. November 1st, 3 months later to the day, construction for the new bridge begins.
Yeah, and in a cold weather environment, that's just crazy. We use this strategy called design build so that you're designing specific pieces as you're going to use them.
But the congressional response in the nearly 2 months since the Key Bridge collapse hasn't been marked by cooperation. President Biden's push for Congress to fully fund the nearly $2 billion rebuild is hitting roadblocks. Last week, members of Congress questioned federal officials overseeing the response to the Key Bridge about why the federal government should pay for all of it.
How many times has Congress authorized a 100% federal share for a fully collapsed bridge?
I think the reference point we're using is the I-35W collapse in Minnesota.
Repeatedly, federal officials made the case last week that the U.S. government should cover the full cost of the Key Bridge rebuild, citing what Congress did in Minnesota. Officials said that if Maryland's state government is forced to cover some of the costs, it'll have a long-term effect on the state budget.
As they're programming out their multi-year, multi-billion-dollar program, it may not be this project, but it may have impacts on other projects.
Tuesday morning, exactly 8 weeks after the Dali cargo ship crashed into the Key Bridge, Governor Wes Moore spoke at the site, making his strongest push yet for bipartisan support and 100% federal funding for the rebuild.
Bipartisan momentum and bipartisan cooperation is not a talking point to us. It's a necessity. Our team will continue to be in contact with our federal partners to ensure that we can and we will get this done.
Like with the Key Bridge, the National Transportation Safety Board investigated the I-35 West bridge collapse, delivering initial findings in January and March 2008 about issues that led to the collapse.
The part that was identified as the culprit, the reason that this bridge collapsed.
NTSB delivered its full report in May 2008, a little more than 9 months after its investigation began.
September 18th, 2008, 13 months after the collapse, the new bridge opens.
Yeah, we were cutting a ribbon on the bridge. That was a great day in Minnesota.
Any emotions that you remember from that day?
Yeah, because you can see where, from the bridge, you can see off to the one side where the memorials were to the folks that lost their lives that day. And that's, it still bothers me today that,
It sounds like it's still right there. It's still right at the surface.
Yeah. So, some things you never forget.
And in the months after the I-35 West collapse, the governor of Minnesota announced a commission made up of victims' families and government officials who then created a memorial near the rebuilt bridge. I asked Governor Moore's office if he had any plans to do the same here in Maryland, and a spokesperson responded in part, Governor Moore has been clear that the bridge will be rebuilt, and when it is, it will be done in a way that honors these victims and their families. You can find my full reporting on this story right now on the WBAL-TV app. For 11 News Investigates, I'm Tolly Taylor.